and some of them have some sediment buildup, which is like 100% common. Every 10 years or so, you just get sediment that builds up in the bottom of the tank when velocities settle out. And when you go in for maintenance, you just have to clean that out. Very common. So this is some graphs that I don't expect you guys to absorb all this, but I do want to kind of point to a few things. This is the regulatory and water quality section. This is kind of where I nerd out a little bit, but there's, like I mentioned, there's THMs and HAAs. Those are both a type of a disinfection byproduct, which is a result of adding chlorine to organics that are in the water, and they break down and create disinfection byproducts. And there's levels regulated by the EPA on those disinfection byproducts. And at times, there have been concerns with the levels, and there's two different levels over here. These two red lines are, this red line is for HAAs, and this one is for THMs. And what it is, it's a quarterly, it's a yearly average of the 4 quarter samples. So you can see here, there's 2 sample locations each. This is the THM trend. So it's pretty steady at around 60, and 80 is where you violate. And then the HAAs is actually been pretty steady around like 30, and then we had a little bump here, and then we're back down in a good neighborhood, but again, not at risk of violating. The flushers have been placed at locations that are nearby some of these sample locations. So if they're regularly flushing, which they are, on a routine basis, every day, which is where I think a lot of unaccounted for water goes, it's understandable, then that's flushing new water to that site, which is going to help keep water moving towards those dead ends. And I should mention, those sites that are sampled were part of an initial distribution system evaluation, where they sampled like a ton of sites and picked the worst ones, and those worst sites are what is your regulatory site. So it should be indicative of better water everywhere else, and this should be your worst spots. And then chlorine residual. I think I have a map. Yes, beautiful. So chlorine residual, you would expect chlorine residual to be worse at the far dead ends of your system, and that's exactly what we saw. Myers Road was a low chlorine residual up near the lake at that sample location 9, very, very up north, had a low minimum chlorine residual, and these also tend to correlate with the worst disinfection byproducts. Long dead ends is where you're going to form more chlorine. The chlorine, remember, is converting from chlorine into disinfection byproducts, so they're kind of inversely related. And then you'll see the flushers on the right graphic are all your flusher locations. There's none in the middle of the system, right? They're all on the edges. So that makes sense, no complaints there. We just want to really maybe know how much they're flushing so we can account for that water and not say like, you have breaks, you have all this unaccounted for water. Like, no, that's planned, right? And this data, I got this data like this week on where those were. So, that was helpful, and I was able to kind of scramble and get this in here, but the positions make sense to me, so there's no concerns there. Distribution system vulnerabilities, obviously aging pipe. The phase replacement program is really like where that goes in, right? We want to prioritize what we're replacing and phase that so it's not like just a huge hit all at once. Because if I told you, like from an engineering standpoint, like, hey, this is the design life of a ductile iron pipe, it's 50 years, you got to replace 2% a year, it's not doable. So we have to prioritize things. So we're going to look at break history and say this is where the breaks occur, it's in that old part, let's replace all that pipe within the next 20 years. And then we need to address the vulnerable segments and increase reliability and lower maintenance costs. So main and valve replacement, as I mentioned, that's part of the plan. Storage tank rehab as needed is part of the plan. Pump station improvement, VFDs, controls, some valve and pipe replacements as needed. The water loss control program is really just about tracking first, and then we'll figure out where it's going. The other part is like pressure monitoring tools that we've given the operators should help develop like okay, this location always has this pressure when things are running fine, and suddenly it's this pressure, no one's built any houses, we probably have a leak out there, right? And then SCADA integration, more data to the operators means they can act on things proactively before it becomes like a system outage. Service zone redundancy. So this is really kind of the one engineering design alternative item that we did look into. And this is a different map here, but you'll see they're gray shading instead of our nice colors, but you'll see kind of the medium service zone here and the high service zone here. Dutch Ridge pump station can pump all the way over, and this is actually not connected right now in between because there's not a PRV vault there. It's not connected. If it was connected, it would just drain the high service zone all the time. And so what we're thinking is putting up either a check valve there in a vault so that water can flow only that way into the high service zone, or just a manual like isolation valve is normally closed, such that if you have a high service zone issue because the 104 site is out for some reason, or for some reason you can't keep water in the 104 tank because there's a break over here in the old part of town, then you can isolate and pump in the high service zone, and at least everyone else will get water, right? Rather than a break in the medium service zone, just like causing a complete system outage for however long. So that's kind of the one thing that we put our heads together on, is like that's the most cost-effective way to provide redundancy. And then as far as capital plan, I kind of decided to make two different capital plans. One was the maintenance capital plan per year, which is like perfect world, ideal scenario, you spend this much a year, maintain the system. And you can see, you know, it's 300,000, 200,000, 150,000, 100, 100, 115, 1.2 million, you know, 800,000, you know, 100,000. You know, the 1.2 million is like the year that like the pump station rehab fell on, right? Stuff like that, like the bigger items. And then the prioritized projects are, you know, not significantly smaller, but they're chunkier projects. And you know, we're talking about the main replacements is like a $75,000 a year. That's that old part over 20 years, 75,000 a year. And then some of the bigger projects in here are control system upgrades. The service zone redundancy with a check valve is a pretty sizable project, right? It's almost $1 million for that project, because there's some water main involved. You can make it cheaper with just an isolation valve, like, but if you know, I'm gonna provide you the cost that I think is the worst case, and we can go down from there. And then, you know, but it's more doable, and I think in 2034, I can't remember off the top of my head what project that was that's driving that cost up, but that might be, I don't know, here, let me see, because I owe you that answer. 2034, that looks like it's pump station upgrades. So there's 3 pump station upgrades all in that same year, and that's, you know, that is a priority project, but it's 10 years out, or almost 10 years out, so there's some time to plan for that. So this is my last slide, but I'm here to answer questions and help you understand the system better if you have questions. I spent the last year or so in the system kind of evaluating it and talking with folks and trying to figure it out with a fresh set of eyes, so I feel like I can answer questions if you have any. Yeah, absolutely.
I just quickly, I can't see the numbers too clearly, of course, because I'm far away, but you had mentioned that the best case scenario would be pipe replacement, 2% pipe replacement, did you say annually?
Yeah, so, you know, if you ask an engineer what the design life of a ductile iron pipe is, right, like, I'll say that there's some systems that have ductile iron pipe that's 100 years old, or PVC pipe that's 60 years old, or, you know, but that's not what we design them to last, right? So, ductile iron is 50 years, so if you're gonna replace the pipes and keep them all within 50 years old, it's 2% a year.
And in that, if I could just follow up, in that, you have, in this whole plan for the board to consider consider, is this capital plan, what percentage is included in here?
Actually, I've included, for your whole system, replacement of pipes, I didn't give you that number. I can give you that number, it would be a separate table though, because it's about the same size as the rest. Like the pipe replacements at 2% a year is massive when you have a system this big,
Thank you.
expansive, this much, I mean, you have 94 mile pipes, or something, 190? Yeah, it's a lot of pipe.
Would you consider 30 years is relatively, in a water main, relatively new?
Yeah, I would say like, your system is relatively new. You know, overall, on average, your system is relatively new. Doesn't mean you're not gonna have breaks, you're not gonna have problems, right?
But a lot of it is fed from a relatively old system. I mean, that old system is right by the city, so it's all coming through there.
And the city system is relatively old.
Mhm.
But you kinda get, it's weird, you know, you kinda get like down through water systems, you know, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, and all of a sudden you start getting like the real early 1900s, and it's like the pipes end up like lasting forever. Like, you know, like they're just like thicker cast iron, and then at some point around the war, World War II, things kinda got thin and not so quality, and we see a lot of breaks on those mains.
The 104 pipeline from City Line Road up to like Main Lane, what, is that asbestos cement or is it ductile?
I can't tell you offhand what material it is, but we certainly have the records for it. I think there was only like a couple sections of pipe that we weren't able to like track down the records on.
Yeah.
A lot of it is in that older area, but outside of that, like, because we have record documents, like they were built within the last 20 years for a lot of it, so. If it's old, it could be asbestos, but I don't remember seeing a lot of that in our inventory though.
I believe that was the first line to go through in the 60s, as you said.
Okay.
The 1960s.
Yeah, it's possible, that's the technology. I mean, typically, if you're digging up asbestos, you're gonna replace it.
Yeah.
You know, so I once there's a break on it, it's kinda like, replace it till it's nearest valve.
Okay. Did you do an inventory of the pipe types in the town?
Yeah.
And how many were lead?
Oh, service line inventory.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Actually, so the town and every municipality, was required to conduct an inventory as part of the lead service line, rule revisions. So the town did their own inventory, and actually, I believe it's public, or had to be public.
Yeah.
At least at request, maybe for this size municipality. So we do have it in the report. I believe we had, actually, if you just give me a second here, I can probably find it, but it was very few, if any, because the service line, let me put it this way. The system is relatively new, since like the 90s, so there's no lead on any of those lines, right? So like,
104, some of the 104 will have lead on it though, because that was,
if it's older, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's pre-80s, then it's possible that it could have lead. But again, a majority of the 194 miles of pipe are newer PVC and newer ductile iron. No hardball questions for me? Well, the town, the board has my information. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to address them. You know, we're gonna finalize the report here in the next week and get it over to the town. I just wanted to make sure we had all the information and.
I noticed that you had the, work tree up there for troubleshooting.
Yep.
Are you gonna be writing, procedures and stuff too, or just, troubleshooting guides?
Yeah, so the work, or the flow chart there is to help kind of like track down where the break is. And as part of that, you know, there's a procedure for, basically they're gonna have to go out to hydrants and attach a gauge to the hydrant, take the pressure reading, use the elevation of the hydrant and the elevation of the water in the tank. We provided a calculation sheet, which steps them through the calculation, and it tells them like what the pressure should be if there's no leak on the line, and if there's a leak on the line, the pressure will be less than that, and then they would know, the operators would know, okay, it's less than that, I'm gonna go out further on this line and see where the leak is. Right, so it's helping them like hone in on the location of the leak instead of them driving around hundreds of miles trying to find a pond in a field.
Just to summarize, and how would you characterize the current state of the Scriba water system?
I would say the biggest struggle is the expansiveness, but the condition is good. But every system can have operational challenges, but the operational challenges are around the expansiveness of it, right? Just how much area you have to cover. And with automation and control, you can make that seem a little smaller. It's just not there currently. But the system's in good shape overall.
So how many people, operators, would you expect to have on the system this size to be, or claim that it's so expensive?
There's probably guidance on this, and I don't know off the top of my head, like, I would say, 3 or 4 operators are probably the right amount to have, but it's really about your ability to dig up pipes and fix leaks when there's a problem, right? It's probably even more important than the amount of operators. Because you can do it with one operator if you have controls, but if you're driving around to everywhere, it takes a lot longer, it takes more operators, right? It's just not possible to be everywhere at once. Yeah, and I do wanna add too, like, I've worked over at the city's plant and the city system, so it was nice to be able to kinda understand, this is the far end of that, where that water goes, so. Well, I appreciate everyone's time, I've taken up way too much.
Thank you.
Um,
Well worth- well worth it. I suppose we can move on to resolutions and motions. Resolution number 1, resolution by the recommendation of Highway Superintendent Mike Ferry to accept the bid received from Babcock Highway Supply regarding cutting edges, grater blades, snowplow shoes, corrugated pipe, and pipe arches for the town highway department. There were no bids received for gravel edges. Can I have a motion for that? Jamie? Second? Sharice?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution number 2, resolution authorizing the following budget modification relating to damage to the Justice Center. Account number 82680, insurance recoveries, increase of $35,715.52. And account number 81620.4, building and grounds contractual, increase $35,715.52. Can I have a motion? Jamie, second? Okay. Any discussion? I don't know if you're all aware that, Justice Department got hit by a car in the middle of the night, and we don't know who did it, so the insurance paid for it.
So we still letting down.
No, repairs have been made, and it's all back to normal. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution number 3, resolution authorizing the purchase of trench grates for the highway department in the amount of $1,917.36 from EJ Company, Phoenix, New York, per recommendation of Clark Woody, Senior Building Maintenance Technician. Can I have a motion, please? Okay, can I have a second? Jamie, any discussion? These need to be replaced, or the floor grates that go into the drain in the highway department. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 4, resolution authorizing the water department to hire United Radio of East Syracuse, New York to install the necessary safety equipment and accessories needed on the new water meter reading truck in the amount of $2,778 due to the unresponsive vendor Bush Electronics that was originally approved. Can I have a motion on that?
I'll move that.
Jamie, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Sheree? We did have a, electronics company that was gonna install this. They ended up ghosting us, I guess is the best word to put it. So our second choice was, in the, bids was, United Radio of East Syracuse, and it really needs to be done, it's a safety issue, so. Any other discussion?
Just a question, the quote, wasn't there a quote from Bush, it was around the same amount, right?
It wasn't far off, no, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was lower, so that's why we chose it. But now we can't get them to do the work, so.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, resolution appointing Curtis Vant to fill the senior building maintenance technician position with a salary of $75,000 a year prorated effective February 19th of 2026. Can I have a motion?
I'll move that.
Okay, can I have a second? Jamie, any discussion?
Yes. So I have a difficult time with this one, nothing, not on a personal level, just the fact that I don't have any information regarding other people that have applied for it. Or were interviewed, so I can't say that I'm for hiring someone without any other information about anyone else that applied.
Okay, understood. We did interviews, Hank, myself, and, Clark. We were asked by the supervisor to do the interviews. We did 6 interviews. Of the only qualified candidates that we found. And we all felt that this gentleman was the best fit. So,
Joe, how many applications were received?
about 30.
You whittled it down to 6 that you thought
Qualified.
could interview,
Mm-hmm.
and from those 6, this was the preferred candidate.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, not knowing anything.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I am.
Okay. Motion passes. Okay, number 6, resolution approving the town surveillance CCTV integrated and anti-tampering policy. This is a standard policy that you can address this a little bit?
Yeah, happy to. This is a policy that comes out of, or compliant with New York state law. Many municipalities have closed circuit television monitoring for both public and employee safety, protection of equipment and property, things of that nature. This policy really deals with the, what happens if one of these cameras are tampered with. Town invests a lot of money in security, and if anybody tampers with, alters the equipment in any way, number one, it's a crime, and number two, it could be, there could be civil penalties. It's always, easiest to defend an action when you have a policy to fall back on. In the absence of a policy, you say, well, gee, I don't know what happened, or it wasn't me, or you don't have a policy, so you can't enforce, this property damage claim, or this potential criminal act. So this is an effort to put a policy together that deals with, the integrity of the closed circuit television system and, anti-tampering, deterrent. if you do tamper, if you're a member of the public or an employee, you could be brought up on criminal charges. An employee could lose their job. If it's an official, they could be brought up on official misconduct charges. Again, it's both for, we put these cameras up for particular reasons, and those who end up tampering with the cameras in any way will be subject to either civil or criminal disciplinary measures. That's what the policy is for.
Okay. I didn't get a motion on this yet.
Oh,
Can I get a
I'll move
motion?
that.
Jamie, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I did not get a chance to print this out, but you should all have received a copy of this in an email. You sent it to everyone, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yep. Okay, we all have a copy?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm
Opposed?
going to discuss.
Oh, sorry, any
Sorry.
discussion? No, go ahead.
I have a few questions for clarification.
Sure.
As I received a copy of this last night, as I did with the agenda, and didn't have much time to go over it. When it talks about authorized personnel, it specifically mentions the town supervisor and deputy supervisor, however, it doesn't mention the rest of the board. Are we considered authorized personnel or not?
I mean, the way the policy is, it further states for individuals designated by the town supervisor to install, maintain, or access closed circuit TV systems. So, it's, you know, those would be the authorized individuals for those purposes. I think the key is to minimize the amount of access to your closed circuit TV system, to select individuals, so as not to,
Too many hands in the cookie jar.
yeah.
Well, there are ways of, you know, monitoring who accesses it and when. But, being a board member, I feel like we should all have access to view it if and when needed. And it doesn't specify that here. It looks as though it's up to supervisors' discretion at whatever time. But it's laid out for her or whomever the town supervisor is and deputy supervisor. I would like clarification later on it says town board sole authority, so I don't know if you could explain what the sole authority is. Security equipment shall only be installed under the express authority of the town board of the town of Scriba. So we can advise if someone can install it, but we can't view it.
Again, the town board has sole authority over all equipment and property of the town, so it would be a proper town board function to say that we should put a camera wherever. And then, so that's the placement of the cameras, the installation of it. And then accessing the information is, again, by this policy is limited to the town supervisor, the deputy supervisor, or individuals designated by the town supervisor.
So she can at any time give or take away give that access or authority. We don't have it to begin with.
Right.
The way this policy is written, that's correct. And it's the position, not the person.
Right.
So, should we want to see it, either you or Kelly would have to unlock it and let her see it,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's not that she can't see it,
Right.
it's just,
It's just, I think that Kelly or Jill would have to be there.
Right.
To be with her to see it. Yes.
I can't see where that would be a problem, to be honest with you,
Right.
personally.
But it would be a problem if there was a problem. You know what I mean?
I would think the supervisor would have to give a really good reason to deny access to a board member.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And lacking that,
Mhm.
I think we would all get access.
I'd like to think that too. I would just like it in writing. I guess I would like, everything else is in writing, I would like something in writing stating that I would have access unless there's a reason for me not to have access.
If you were the subject of an investigation, for instance, you know, you may get access at some point, but,
It's not that I have a problem with asking to view it, or somebody viewing it with me, but it doesn't say here that somebody has to view it with me. I guess it's just leaving, I would like more time to review this and get clarification and have more details as to more of this document. I would just like more time to review it and go over it. Not that I'm for or against it, I just need more time. 2 hours really is all I've had to view it.
you know, do I understand that you do have either a new batch of cameras to be installed?
Yes,
or they
and
have
that's
installed?
what my point was just going to be, that we're installing these in record time, in a few days, and without a policy, and just like you said, without that policy, we don't have anything to stop that from happening, so.
I can see where we can revisit this at some point. Even, I think we need to have a policy in place right now. We can revisit your concerns. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not against it, I agree that we need to have a policy. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that given 2 hours to review this is not enough time for me. I still have questions about the cameras. We don't have anything specifying where they're being added. I don't know if there's intention of going over that with everyone, or if that's up to the town supervisor. I have a lot of questions regarding the installation of these cameras and the policies that are going forward with it, and the 2 hours to do it, that's not enough time for me.
Well, basically, these are replacing the cameras we already have.
It's replacing them, but putting up more, and I have questions of, they are voice, do record voice?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a voice recording.
I think it's against the law to do that unless you tell them.
I don't know where they're being installed, is that going to be going over before they're installed with all of us, or is that just up to the supervisor?
Supervisor, building and ground is what I know I'm not gonna have any part of it, so. And I trust their judgment. So anyway, any more discussion from you? Still need to have a vote. We have a, motion and a second. So I'll say, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I am.
Okay, now moving to motion to pay the bills as presented for the abstract 2 in the amount of $1,085,092.82. Yes, that's what got me.
I'm asking.
Can I have a motion for that?
Great.
Jamie, thank you guys for checking. We got charged tax, $18, and Sharice and Jamie caught it, so thank you very much. Good job. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, open meeting. All speakers will be given a maximum of 5-minute time allowance. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss?
Hey, I got one. Where are these cameras going?
Where the other ones are.
Good answer.
Outside, inside.
We have some outside here. We have some in the
Oh,
hallway.
it's just on this property?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
No, and the ground,
Underground.
and the water department, all 3 buildings.
Can they be borrowed?
Nothing at the Justice Center?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
there is, okay.
They record everything at the Justice Center.
Right,
They're gonna-
inside, but not outside.
Well, you live right less than the hard rate.
We're gonna have one out there now.
Oh, there you go.
Including hard drive?
Excuse me?
Including hard drive?
I would assume.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying cameras, so they're not saying the complete system.
It is a camera system.
Okay. And why the upgrade?
because the other one was here 20 years ago, and it's awful. It's just, yeah,
It's impossible.
it's not user-friendly, put it
I
that
haven't
way.
seen it, but yeah.
Actually, the system that's working now wasn't 20 years ago, I've been here for over 14, it's been,
Okay,
the ones before that was 20 years.
I've been here 9 years, and it was here when I got here, so.
Okay, so it must have been just before that. then.
It is very unfriendly to use.
Do you know which ones are being replaced?
All of them.
All are being replaced and then new to the other buildings.
No, they have.
No, they aren't, they
They're
currently
gonna
have
put them
one.
outside too.
But we didn't have one pointed to the side of the Justice Center where it got hit, so.
Is water building gonna be the same, they're gonna be replaced?
Yes,
Because ours were just put in the past 2 years.
I believe they're gonna be replaced too, that's a whole new system.
And who's gonna have passwords for that?
The supervisor, yeah. Carl?
What was the bid on the Scriba Highway, thing with Babcock? I love the supporting the local economy, but I gotta tell you, I wasn't cool with the Amazon purchase of that pump for the pool. I think you should have bought something locally instead of that,
Yeah.
you know,
I
that's my
understand.
opinion. I know it was a little bid, but,
I don't have time to add them all up,
He
there's
did
all
different
these
things for
different.
each thing. if you
Oh, okay.
wanna look
You're
at
welcome
it.
to look at this after the meeting, or.
okay, yep,
Yep.
yep.
And I think they were quite comparable to the other bid.
Yep, yeah,
They were just off a couple dollars
Yep.
more and then a couple dollars less.
Well, I can email it to you as well if you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Lee's not here this month. Has there been any action on the house on Skyline Drive?
Actually, the code enforcement office has filed charges, and we are going to be in court.
next Thursday.
Yeah.
I told Sue I would be there for her, cause
Did you?
she's there for us.
Thank you.
Debbie, I'm sorry, I didn't, I saw you earlier, but.
I know you missed me last month,
We did.
but I was in the sun, so. Question about my property. It's ridiculous. While we were away, the water was running. I know Wayne talked to you.
Yes, he did.
We're picking up the debris continuously. We take care of our property, and we shouldn't have to be picking up their property. We're picking up metal out of the road. It's bad enough with the Page trucking trucks. When they go by, we pick up the metal that flies out of their truck. I'm sure you do too.
Oh, yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's been 18 months now. We've had enough. And I don't wanna be a bitch, but
Do it.
it's like normal.
I promise you I will touch base with code enforcement again and see where we
I
stand.
don't wanna go over there anymore. I mean, my husband's home all day. He's disabled, he's retired. No one even goes over there. I mean, we got him living in the camper still. I don't know how someone can live in a camper in the middle of winter. It's pretty cold down there.
I'm sorry you're still dealing with this.
You know, I pay my taxes. Wayne came to tell Becky. Wayne just goes and visits everybody. So
When-
tired. George.
When are we gonna hire a new guy or person?
Soon.
But, I don't know.
That should be first.
And that would be
I'm
full, that would be
frustrated.
full-time.
Yeah,
hopefully.
we are hopefully in the extreme near future gonna have our own full-time code enforcement officer.
I know, I was gonna apply. My son said
Where
it
would
to
you
me.
start?
No. My
Right
son
next
said it to
door.
me when we were on the cruise, and I said, that's pretty funny.
Squeaky wheel.
Just a comment, with all this about the security and cameras and stuff. So I just took the cybersecurity, class today for everything, and there's just such a fine line between, security and access. Who has access and who doesn't. And I really think it's tough. It's tough to make those decisions. because you want to have more than one person, of course. But how many more than one person who has access? And so I think, you know, it really does come down to, I guess I was also thinking that, so board members or people maybe who have access, whether it's code enforcement or whoever has access, they may not always be there. Which means you have to change everything around again, whatever that means, seriously from location of cameras, to passwords, to whatever, just like keys to locks. So all of that in consideration about access is what I think about, like after today, with this seminar, just an exposure, you know, from computer exposure, what we do on our town computers, etc. It was really eye-opening, very simple, to the point, eye-opening, and we're not alone in what we're dealing with all of trying to get up to snuff ever you can be for cybersecurity. I was talking to Gus a little bit about it. Everybody has the same issues, especially towns our size. And so, you know, I think they also were going back to, which is really cool, about the importance of pen and pencil and paper. Landline, telephone, cell phone, whatever, and not email, so you know, everybody's walking this fine line, and after everybody said, we're just gonna email, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, everybody's finding that how much exposure that really does give to other entities that mean harm. So, just throwing it out there.
Thank you, Lori. Kathy?
Just curiosity question, is the senior building maintenance technician a replacement or an addition?
A replacement. Clark is retired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but, not for him, I suppose, but, thank you.
Anyone else? What?
Yeah, I brought this up last meeting, the deficit in the town supervisor's report was $83,000 in the consolidated water district last month. And you explained that that's due to water main breaks and overtime and that type thing. Well, this month it's $243,000 in a deficit. And I'm assuming that's the same, it's overtime, it's water main breaks, it's whatever.
And it's the fact that our rents have not caught up with our expenses yet, which they will. We have a couple of breaks on private systems that we pay for to get fixed that we will be getting reimbursement for. And we're just over budget right now. That's all I can tell you.
Well, has there been any kind of projection or analysis as to how long we can sustain this hemorrhaging of money to the town of Oswego through the water department? Because at this rate, we're in for a lot of trouble down the road.
I don't know what our other answers are. If you know a certified water operator that would want to come here and run this water system, fine. They're very hard to find, and we don't have much of a choice.
It's not my job to find one. That's what you guys are for.
Well, we're trying. We've tried for a long time.
You're actively trying right now.
Yeah.
I asked this 2 years ago. We can't get rid of our water department because it's gonna cost us money. When it went from $20,000 a month to Oswego. Then it went to $30,000 a month to Oswego. Now it's $60,000 a month to Oswego. Plus all this extra stuff that they charge us every month. $243,000 in 1 month. How can we sustain that? I just don't understand.
We couldn't hear that, Greg.
We don't have employees, so there's a lot of cost to having employees. We don't have to pay them any longer.
I understand that. But $60,000 a month is what we pay them right now. Did we pay $60,000 a month when we had a water department? Did we pay employees that much money on top of the $240,000 that we paid them this month? I think it would be a lot cheaper to have a water department than it would to pay Oswego this.
Thank you. Did you, Carl?
Did you not pay Oswego on straight time instead of time and a half? Or is that what we're
It all
paying?
depends on when it is and
What time of day?
Right, and that's the overtime issue is that.
Right, You can't walk away from a water main break, you
Oh,
have
no.
to stay till it's finished.
Right.
And there's a lot of overtime
What?
involved in that.
There's a
Well,
couple of
couldn't
big
this-
water
well-
main breaks on private water mains that
Right, I-
you can't let go, you gotta go fix them, so we put up the cost for that, but we will be reimbursed for it.
Right. As they charged us, the same, like, you're gonna charge them time and a half?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're not gonna
Yeah.
lose any money over that.
Well, maybe on the mains you could do it on, see if they could agree to straight time instead of the time and a half thing. And, cause you're paying them more, you know, just worth the ask, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks, Carl. Anyone else? Jeff,
I'm just here, I'll stand up, I guess, so.
can you give her your name and all?
Jeff King. So I put a, purchase offer in with the town board, for a piece of property. And I came tonight to see if there's any questions you guys have that I could answer, and where we are on the status of it.
Well, all transparency is the VFW property.
104.
On 104. And we have a purchase contract that we're looking at and going over, and Kevin's gonna go over it.
Okay, alright. Cause like I mentioned to you, if you guys did a motion tonight, it's my understanding if you guys approved it, that Kevin would have 3 days after you guys approved it to say yes or no and go back to my lawyer, correct?
Not, correct, but not all the board members have had a chance to read that.
Okay, so I thought they did, okay.
My fault, and I
Nope,
apologize for
nope,
that.
nope, you're fine. I was under the assumption that everybody knew about it, so,
Everybody knows about it, but they haven't read this whole thing yet, though.
okay, alright.
I don't know why I can't.
So,
There was some wording in it that needed to be changed.
correct, yes, which, I did talk to my lawyer today, and he said that he can change the wording and whatever.
Okay.
So would it have to go to next month?
I'm assuming it will, yes.
Okay.
Did you wanna talk, like, is this something?
Well, this would be the topic of a executive session for this board to discuss. Ultimately, any decision to be made would be made in public. But there are a few things that we need to discuss in executive session.
I have a question. Did this go for sale? Was this put in paper for sale, or?
I don't believe it was, it doesn't have to be.
It was appraised. It's always been on the market. It's all, wasn't advertised, but it's
Okay,
always been out.
I'm just confused, because Mr. King here is the fourth person that I know of that showed interest in it, and this board didn't even come close to accepting an offer from any of them, except for this
He's the
one,
only
so-
second one that I've ever known that had any interest in it, and the other one wanted either us to sell it to them for $1 or to lease it to them, and we didn't want to be landlords, so.
I've been looking for a piece of property in Scriba for a little while now, and I happen to be talking to somebody.
Yeah,
they-
this is
they-
nothing.
No, somebody said to me, why don't you ask the town about the VFW? I didn't know, so I asked, and
Tammy said something about the Mexico Trail Riders being interested as well, and said that she was gonna reach out.
They wanted to lease it.
They wanted to lease it.
She did reach out, she talked to
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Had a conversation. What can I break that?
100,000.
100,000.
We had it appraised late last year, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. We'll be in touch for sure. Anyone else?
Did you have a question?
How did you know?
I saw your hand
I
raised
didn't put my
before.
hand up yet. So you're talking about these cameras and stuff, when are they gonna be changed out, and when is that gonna all happen?
I believe it's next week, the 23rd?
Next Monday. Is that being hired out from somebody, or is buildings and grounds
We
changing?
passed
They
that
passed it last month.
last month.
Okay, that's what I thought, I just wanted to be sure.
Are you done, Tammy? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, thank you.
The two new members, have you yet taken the course about what your responsibilities are as a council person, what what you should know about doing the job? I know, you said you took it online, Joe, and I know Peggy, you took it in person, right?
No, I took it online because it was COVID when
And they don't
Okay.
offer it online anymore.
So have you both
Well, it
taken
was
it?
because
And
of
if
COVID
not,
that
why?
did it online.
Why? I will not leave him alone.
So
My husband, he has
it's
Parkinson's.
online, right?
No, not anymore, they don't offer
Not
it
anymore?
anymore.
Okay,
No, and I will not leave him with his illness.
okay. Do you guys have notes you can share with her?
Sure.
And you?
No, I tried to go. I planned on going. My first attempt was denied. And my second attempt, or the second option that I was given was I had a couple hours to review it. I had some other issues and couldn't make a decision in those 2 hours that I had to do so.
So you're still looking to do it?
I can't do it. It's not being offered.
It'll be offered next year, it's once a
It's
year.
only done
It's
once
once
a
a
year?
year.
Okay.
So, you said you were denied, who denied you?
The town supervisor denied me.
Tonight, what part of it?
It was too expensive.
Is that something we can discuss
I'm not
out
sure
loud?
that that's
It
accurate.
wasn't denied.
I don't think it was denied at all. There was an amount of money budgeted, $1,000
Right.
for,
For two, it was 500 for each.
right, for participating in this program. There were two locations, one in the Rochester area, the other one in the Albany area. That's what was budgeted. And then ultimately, when it was decided that only one member was going, or one member wasn't going, then the full $1,000 was made available.
Person.
That's how I understood it.
Mhm.
So I
And
don't,
the Albany one was more than
to
1,000.
characterize it as a denial, I think is a mistake.
So I'm sorry, maybe I disagree. So I asked to go to the one in Albany so that I didn't miss my first town board meeting.
Okay.
And the request was denied because it was over budget, was not aware of the budget at the time. It was over $1,000 for me to go alone. Then when it was offered, the other option was not in Rochester, it was not in
Corning.
Corning. And at the time that it was offered, I think it was the day before Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. It was the last, it was in January. The time frame that I had already booked the room for Albany. There was a time frame that you had to complete each thing, to register, book a room, whatever. I did that in anticipation that I would be able to go, not knowing that there was a budget. When that was denied, the second option of the one in, help me out, Corning. Thank you. I always wanna call it Cortland. I was told different things, that I had to come up with the money up front to be reimbursed. There were questions as to, okay, I have to do this, how to do it, tax exempt, the paperwork, the time frame. It was December, I believe it was December. There was a lot going on, holidays, work, etc. And the time frame when the supervisor emailed me, I got it an hour or two after she emailed me, saying that she could put it on the town credit card, but I only had 2 hours to make that decision, and it was the cutoff. And my husband works a swing shift. I didn't have time to speak with him. There were some other issues that I had to take into consideration, and I did not have enough time to meet that deadline. I wanted to go. I planned on going.
Well, maybe you guys can share some notes in the meantime.
She can contact them as well and they will send her information.
Oh, did you hear what Penny said?
I did.
I read everything online. I think I can get you that if you want. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Anyone else?
So I just would like to go off on that, I thought I had it in here, but I don't. In the town law book, it states that when, employees, elected officials, anybody that works for the town, and they go to conference, all fees will be paid by town board. So the town board can't choose to only pay a certain amount. Meals, yes, mileage, of course, the rate, that type of thing, but the cost of the employee to go to the conference is expected to be paid fully. So you can't expect a newly elected official, they weren't an official at the time of the budget, so you can't make her pay for the board shortfall for not knowing what to budget for the upcoming conference. And that's what happened.
But the first conference would have been covered in the budget, right?
Yes. Does it say if there's two separate amounts or if there's two choices?
Is the one closer, there was enough money in the budget for her to go.
There was enough money for one person to go, and I would have preferred to go to that one. The reason why I chose the one, which I told the town supervisor, she asked me when I submitted the paperwork to go to that, was that I wouldn't miss, so that I wouldn't miss the town board, my first town board meeting. And she didn't say anything. It was, I don't know how much long, I'd have to look at my paperwork to see how long it was before that request was denied, being over budget. When I found out it was $1,000 budget, if there were two of us going to the one in the other county, it still would have been over budget. Two people would not have been able to go for under $1,000.
Okay. Anyone else?
How long is your term, Teresa?
I was a fill vacancy, so it is 2 years.
So you would be still next year as long as they budget for it?
Yep.
Aren't those positions up for re-election this year? Because the state has gone to a even year?
But the original term was 4 years. So they have a 2-year fill term, so they're filling that 2-year term. So it's not a new term for 2 years, it's completion of a 4-year.
Well, I thought it was anybody that was up for re-election in 2027, which they would have been, correct? 2 years is now up for re-election in
But
2027.
because it's a 2-year fill.
Okay.
They don't, I apologize.
Okay.
As well, we'd have to run next year, and it would be for 3 years.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Alan?
Anything happen on Miley Beach this year?
That's a good question.
The jetty,
No,
the tree, before the flooding happened?
no, not at
That's
this
on the
point.
beach, nothing happened.
No, we meet regularly with the Ready Commission. In fact, I think there's a meeting tomorrow, just as an update with the engineers. We've got to meet with the residents group down there, yet to schedule that meeting. I've made multiple attempts to do that, it's a matter of coordinating it, but we're getting to a go, no-go situation where this project is either gonna happen or it's not.
How much more time do we have? Or do they have?
Not much, April, I think. Yeah, so decisions will have to be made here shortly.
Okay, can I get a motion to enter into executive sessions for the purpose of discussions in accordance with New York State Public Officers Law, Section 105(1) E and F, for collective negotiations in matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Do I have a motion? Jamie, do I have a second? Peg? All in favor? Aye.
We want to announce that we may be taking an action after the executive session.
Okay, yeah, we may be taking an action after the executive session. If you want to stay, that's fine.
Can we ask for less since it's not on the agenda?
I don't know, can we ask for what?
It's a contractual matter.
Put that in law terms.
Stick around if you want to find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you want to call it later on, I'll tell you all about it.
There you go. I love it, Joe.
Thank you, everyone. Feel free to stay, it's like